All right, so we're gonna model a room, um, and we're gonna use ProBuilder tools. Now, this is really just to help you get familiar with the new Unity 6 modeling tools if you're using that instead of the older one. Unity 6 just came out, and I don't want people to get confused or anything. So the way you create a 3D model with ProBuilder, here's tools, ProBuilder, here's editor. Now, the other thing is if you don't see any of that tools panel here, you have to go to Window and then Package Manager, and then under Unity Registry, you want to look for, let's just type Pro here. You want to type in ProBuilder and you want to install that. You also want to install, let's go to Dependencies. And under Dependencies, you might see a URP installer or something, and you want to install that too. So anyway, but if you're in Unity 6, it might automatically install a dependency for you because I didn't see it in there. All right, so let's create a room. So down here in this panel here, you can see I can create a cube here. Now, if you don't see that, if you hold the left mouse button down, it's going to give you all of the options for creating a room. So I'm going to go ahead and click Create Cube, and I'm going to make sure that my grid units here, let's see, this one right here, you can see it's set to 15 and 1, but I want these to all be 1. And then I want this to be set to 1 as well. Just because what's going to do is if you zoom in here, it's going to give me these 1 meter grids. So you can see if I drag this out and I bring this up, each one of these little sections here you can see equate to 1 meter. All right, so let's go ahead and check the move tool or hit W and then hit delete. And let's do this again. And so I'm going to go a little bit bigger. I'm going to click on this cube here, and I'm going to fill one of these giant areas up like this. And it doesn't really matter the height. I'm just scrolling my wheel in and out to zoom. I'm holding the Alt and left arrow key to rotate, Alt and middle mouse to pan. Now let's go ahead and delete these top faces. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this very top option here, which is my edit. And I'm going to click on the top, hold shift, and click on the side, and then hit the backspace key in my keyboard. So that's how you delete faces. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to flip it so that the inside is visible and the outside is transparent. And that'll allow me to look into the room for my game. So I'm going to left click and drag out. And what you'll notice is I'm able to select all of the faces. You might not be able to. And the reason for that is up here at the top, there's this little select hidden elements. You want to turn that on. And I'm going to select all of those and drag that out. And then I'm going to go ahead and with all of these faces selected, and I know they're selected because they're yellow, I'm going to go to Tool, ProBuilder, go to Geometry, and then in the middle here, I'm going to do Flip Face Normals. Now you can see it's flipped. All right, let's go ahead and add a table in this room. So I'm going to go in this room, I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go to Cylinder, and I'm just going to go ahead and create a left click and just drag out a leg. And I'm going to hit R on my keyboard for my scale tool. I'm just going to change that a little bit. And for the leg of this, what I'd like to do is I'd like to color it. So I'm going to go to Tools, ProBuilder here, Editors, and I'm going to open up Vertex Color Editor. And I'm going to make this leg pink. So I'm going to go ahead and click this pink color here. I don't know why it's pink. I just decided to go with it. Now what I'd like to do is create the 4 other legs. So I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate that, and I'm going to move it over. And let's go ahead and hold shift and select both of these and just move them to these crossroads here. Just find any 2 that are apart. Then I'm going to hit Control D again, and I'm going to move that over 1 more. All right, so let's go ahead and create the tabletop. So what I'm going to do is, just so I know where it is, I'm going to, outside of here, I'm just left clicking, Alt and left clicking to rotate. Let's move this down a little bit more. And actually what we can do is click on, see this Y axis up here? If I click on it, it'll give me a top view. I'm going to drag out a cube that sort of represents this. So I'm going to go down here, hold my left mouse button down, grab a cube, and just click and drag. And then I'm just going to move my mouse down a little bit and see where I end up. Now, if you don't like how thick it is, you can hit R and you can scale that up and down. Or we can hit Edit Mode, select that top face, and press the W key to bring my Move tool up, and I can adjust that. Now I'm going to uncheck Edit, and I'm going to move this up a little bit and just place it on top. And there is our tabletop. So let's go ahead and make that brown. Now what I'd like to do, because if you're looking in our hierarchy here, we have 4 cylinders. What I want to do is hold Shift and just click on that last cylinder so I have all of them selected. Then I'm going to go to Tools, ProBuilder, and then Game Object. You can see none of these are highlighted. If I go to object, you can see there's merge object. If I click on that, it made it one object. See that? And I'm going to name this table. All right, so let's make 4 chairs for this thing. And I'm going to do something very similar. I'm just going to, again, go here and make a cylinder. So let's go ahead and find my cylinder here. There it is. And I'm going to left click and just move my mouse upward. And there's one cylinder there. And you don't have to make it perfect. Just Control D again. Hold Shift, Control D, all these 4, just so you have it. And then I'm going to hold Shift and select all of them. And I'm going to make these blue. Same thing as before. What I'm going to do is at an angle this time, just to kind of give you some variety. I'm going to go to Create Cube. And I'm going to drag this out a little bit and just move it up. Hit W. Move it this way, and I'm just going to position it right on top of those chair legs. Now let's make the back of our chair. So I'm going to hit, let's just make this red, and let's take Control D. I'm going to move, Control D, I'm going to move this up, and I'm going to go to Edit mode this time, and then select my Face tool. Bring this way, select that. Bring this down a little bit. Like that. And maybe I'll shrink that. I don't know. Maybe that will look cooler. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Again, uncheck this, select this, and my 4 chairs here, 4 legs here. Tools, ProBuilder, Object, Merge Objects. And I'm going to click on this. You'll see it's called Cylinder 3. And I don't like where that pivot point is. And I'll show you how to fix that in a second. But let's call this chair. Space, parentheses, and on inside those parentheses hit 0. And the reason for that is when I hit Control D, it'll auto increment the number. And I want it to start at 0. So back up at the top here, let's go to Tools, ProBuilder, and then Object. And what I want to do is the very top option, Center Pivot. Now I'm going to go ahead and move that chair in. Hit Control D. Rotate this one on the Y-axis 90 degrees. Control D, rotate this one minus 90. And then Control D and rotate this one 180. So like that. So there's our chair, there's our room. Pretty good introduction. Just kind of gets you into modeling. So if you want like a background, so I can select all these. Now, something else I tend to do is I right click, I create an empty, and I'll call this like table set. And then I'll grab all of these and I'll put them under the table set. And that way I know if I ever need to move this around, I've got this table set object. Something else I tend to do is I'll actually kind of reset this position of this. So 0, 0, 0 in my world. And then each one of these, I'll like reset them. And then once they're reset, I just make sure that my table's set a little higher. And I'll adjust it this way, and I'll show you why in a second. So minus 90. This one. And now when I select table set, see how that pivot's kind of at the bottom there, and I can just kind of position this in my scene. Anyway, so here's kind of a basics to kind of get you updated on ProBuilder. This isn't going to be heavy modeling in this particular class, but, and then another thing is like, say you want to make a door here, I'm going to go to edit, just to kind of show you that too. Select that wall, hit R and hold Shift key down like this, hit W, move it down, hit backspace, move this down again, hit backspace again, and now you have a door to get in. Same way for creating windows or whatever. When you take level design, we do a whole room in ProBuilder, and then we have an advanced world building class where we get into using external 3D applications to model. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully that's helpful for getting you caught up on ProBuilder.